Disclaimer: this man's libido is in healthy functioning levels. Further questioning on the matter is not required. Thank you.
Coming at you live from Skeleton City. Q&A time, let's get into it. When you say sugar, are you talking about eating a spoonful of sugar out of a bag? And what are the healthiest brands and types of juices to drink? I usually don't just eat dry sugar, like by the spoonful. I mean, I suppose you could. I usually add it to water and mix it up like that, or add the sugar to your fruit. And then as far as the healthiest juice to drink, really whatever juice you can get, that's the healthiest juice. But I like to get these frozen juice concentrates from Walmart. They're $1.20. So it's a good cheap option and it doesn't take up a lot of space in your fridge or anything. They're pretty small and compact. Do you guys do intermittent fasting with the sugar diet or eat all day? I don't do any intermittent fasting, but I'm also not eating all day. I generally like to wait, a few hours in between each meal. But in the end, I just eat when I'm hungry. And if sometimes that's an hour later, then I'll have another small meal. Just make sure your bananas are super ripe and spotty and you will do fine with them, most likely. I buy a lot of bunches at once and ripen them in my car when it's hot. It works very well. You can also refrigerate and freeze for smoothie. Bananas are an athlete's super fuel. Yes, that's very good advice. People that are eating the bananas when they're still yellow, or even worse when they're green, that's going to have way more starch. So yeah, you always want to eat your bananas when they're nice and ripe and spotty. I haven't subscribed yet, but the YouTube algorithm is pushing you. Enjoy it while it lasts. I'm not sure whether to thank you or not. I don't know if this comment was like in support of me or against me, but thank you. Been on this for a while and still can't drop on the scale. Doing sugar and skim milk in my morning coffee, glass of juice for lunch, and lean protein with either rice and veggies or potato for dinner. Add 30 minutes cardio too, 6 days a week. Still won't drop. Frustrating. Well, my advice to you would first off, cut the caffeine. Cut the skim milk. Even though skim milk is low fat, it still has just as much protein as whole milk. And then lean protein with the starch at night. Basically, if you need to have like a salty dinner at night, because I know you said you did a lot of cardio, I would just go sugar for breakfast, sugar for lunch, and then salty vegetables for dinner. Cut the starch, cut the lean protein, cut the skim milk, cut the coffee. Mango Wodzak, long-term fruitarian, died recently. 3 blocked arteries and fatty liver, a shock to raw vegan community. Yeah, RIP to him. I'm not super familiar with exactly what he was eating, but I do know there is documented footage of him saying he didn't drink water, he doesn't believe in exercise. But either way, I don't know if this comment was implying that I'm gonna die like him. I'm not on a fruitarian diet. This is not something you're gonna do long-term, and we don't live the same lifestyle at all. I run by the trifecta of health: lean, high VO2 max, and drug-free. That's not what he was running with. Looks like bro is dying. I literally just got back from my bike ride today. I think it was like 53 miles, over 20 miles per hour speed. I mean, I certainly didn't look like I was dying when I was flying on a bicycle for 3 hours this morning. And I certainly don't think I look like I'm dying right now sitting here and filming this Q&A. So, how much water are you drinking? I found that I eat a lot less sodium on this, and plain water just goes right through me. I start every morning with a liter of water, and then if I'm having a salty meal, I'm always going to have a liter of water before that meal. On average, I'm drinking over a gallon a day. That also depends on how much exercise I'm doing as well. Yeah, basically a gallon, right around a gallon is what I'm drinking every day. If the water's going right through you, have some salt. I eat a salty dinner every night, and I don't really have any issues with water going right through me. Mango Fruitarian did not die from lack of water or dehydration. It's a lie people just make up. His partner put up cause of death certificate, atherosclerosis, blocked arteries, calcium and plaque, fatty liver, and he had B12 deficiency and other underlying conditions, but no dehydration. It's important to stick with the facts. Yeah, again, this is not a fruitarian diet. No offense to any of the fruitarians, but I don't believe that being on a fruitarian diet, or tier 1 of the skeleton pyramid, I don't believe that's something healthy that you would be on for most people longer than like a few weeks, but certainly not longer than a year. And that would be assuming you are very fat and you have a lot of weight to lose. So comparing this whole thing to him and his diet and the fruitarian diet, it's not even comparable. It's not the same thing. We're not doing the same thing. That's something they did forever. This is something we do short term. Do you eat every time you're hungry? I get hungry 3 hours after eating like tier 1. Not sure if I should just eat 3 times per day or I can eat as often as I want. If I get hungry, I'll eat again. I don't care how long it is. If it's an hour, I don't really care. But basically though, you're just trying to eat to have good energy throughout the day and have the scale dropping. So if that means you eat every hour, then so be it. I'm trying to get more volume of food in so I'm not snacking every hour like that. You know, you just got to go with what works for you and what works with the scale ultimately. My guy, as Cole has said, put on the brakes. Work in some fat and protein. Being emaciated isn't the goal of the sugar diet. Yeah, again, you can't be emaciated going on a crazy fast 53-mile bike ride. Did you have setbacks during the 9 months? Setbacks, not really. Like a few stalls here and there, like basically in between tiers. Stalled on starch for a minute. But like, I don't really consider that setbacks. I don't know if you mean like, did I just fall off completely and just go like straight indulgence mode? I didn't do that. Other than a few cheat meals here and there really wasn't any setbacks. I was pretty hardcore about it though, because I was fed up and I just wanted it done as fast as possible. Exactly. Bodybuilders are just with muscle, and they don't even feel good getting down to like 3 or 4% body fat or whatever body fat percentage they get down to. They do it by starving themselves. I'm not starving myself. Every single day I'm eating to have good energy and just have the scale drop, but because I'm very skinny and I'm not going for a huge jacked look, those rules don't apply to me. And honestly, it's really not fair. I swear, you're the only person on YouTube who's actually gotten to the end, like the actual end of the journey. I mean, yeah, Skeleton City is a lonely place, but I don't know if I'm at the end of the journey yet. There might be a couple more pounds until we're basement dungeon tier level of Skeleton City. How important are calories on this diet? Will too few calories slow down metabolism? That's what I believe, and there's just not like a set number of calories. That's why I say eat to have good energy and have the scale dropping, and that's enough. Eat enough. If you're feeling tired and sluggish, like 99% of the time, you just need to up the calories. And if that results in a little slower weight loss, then so be it. But ultimately though, we want our metabolisms to be very fast and not starving from like, you know, whatever, 600 calories a day. Another outstanding video, Starge. Keep them coming, and let's keep the express going all the way to Skeleton City. Yes, sir. Hop on tier 1. That's the express train all the way to Skeleton City. I don't want to be skeleton. I just want to go to Slim City, so I guess I can have some starch, lol. Slim City is just a subdivision of Skeleton City. It's still in the same place, and you know what? Everyone's Skeleton City is going to look a little different from the other person, so you don't have to get to my level of Skeleton City. Just get to the leanest that you want to be, and that is Skeleton City for you. And if you want to use starch to get there, do that. But just keep an eye on the scale, and if you see a stall, then you might have to drop the starch and go straight tier 1. So in tier 1, there is no protein at all? Correct. Tier 1 is fruit, juice, sugar, vegetables, no protein. That's for tier 3 when you're in maintenance mode. How about hydration? How much water do you drink on average? Bike days and rest days? Thank you. Yeah, like I said before, a gallon a day is usually what I'm shooting for. It's summer now, it's hot. I was just out on the bike for almost 3 hours, so today I'll probably hit closer to 2 gallons. I love how you use skeleton to represent everything. Thank you. I think it's hilarious. I know it triggers some people. I know Vegan Deterioration did not appreciate the skeleton paraphernalia all over my videos. That was very triggering to her. But I mean, like, come on. It's a joke. Like, can we be lighthearted here? Like, I'm not serious about the whole skeleton thing. Or am I? This is a very good video about clarifying everything about the fast. You also need to try these for yourselves and pay some attention to how you feel and what's on the scale. Thank you for the information. Yeah, he's referring to the skeleton pyramid, and you know what? In the end, you just gotta go with what works for you. When my wife and I started, we started at tier 3 and we lost weight in tier 3. Then we went to tier 2, we lost weight in tier 2, and then we went to tier 1, we lost weight there. Some people may succeed on tier 3 from the get-go. You just gotta figure that out for yourself. Some people will be fine on starch, you know? They'll just eat the appropriate amount of starch for them and their weight loss, and everything will be good. Yeah, like he said, just pay attention to the scale. We're trying to have good energy and make the scale drop. It's really not any more complicated than that. I've been in tier 1 with very little rice 2 days this past week. No fat, low protein, and the scale hasn't budged. I went to the gym 4 days and lifted heavy too. Ugh. So basically you haven't been in tier 1 at all, because you said tier 1 with rice, and then you said protein as well. So it sounds more like you've been in tier 3 this whole time. I would just actually stick strict tier 1 for 1 week. Fruit, juice, sugar, vegetables, that's it. And see if the scale starts trending downward. Also, you said you're doing heavy lifting. It's very hard for the body to build muscle and lose fat at the same time. It can be done, but it's very hard. So really, you want to avoid lifting heavy weights. Honestly, you should stick to the cardio. Stick to cardio until you get to Skeleton City, and then you go tier 3, add the protein back in, add the starch, and then start building back up, lifting your weights, etc. What do you and Cole mean by sugar fasting? Basically, it means staying in tier 1 of the skeleton pyramid, fruit, juice, sugar, vegetables, and eliminating everything else from your diet. So stick to tier 1 as long as you can. That's the sugar fast. You want to stay in there for 5 days, 7 days, 2 weeks, whatever it is. And then when you break the fast and you introduce starch or protein back in, you do that for a day and then you go back to sugar fasting again. And you're basically just doing that back and forth. Tier 1, then tier 2 or 3. Tier 1, tier 2, and 3. And you just do that all the way down until you lose all the weight, you hit Skeleton City, and then you just stay tier 3 forever. Christian Bale ate a tin of tuna and an apple for the Machinist. Not like this at all. You lost weight the healthy way. Yeah, and that's a good point. I eat way more than a can of tuna and an apple every day. I bet Christian Bale probably felt like absolute trash doing that, yet I got the same physique as Christian Bale from the Machinist. Maybe I'll do the suck-in pose that he does. That's the famous picture that he's got. I'll do that and put that on the thumbnail maybe. But yeah, I got the same physique as Christian Bale with way more energy and just way more happiness. Like, it wasn't miserable to do this at all. It also wasn't fun. I'm not saying like I was having a great time losing 66 pounds. Like, no, it's not fun. It's never fun to lose weight. It's always more fun to eat in maintenance or eat in indulgence. I get that. But in comparison to how most people lose weight, including Christian Bale, this is like 1,000 times better. Why do dates fall into tier 2? There are hardly any starches in ripe dates, right? Dates are not in tier 2, they're in tier 1. But if you see a stall on the scale and you're eating a ton of dates, you might want to try replace those with something else, more like wet fruit, and see if that gets the scale going down again. What's your wife's weight loss so far? And what type of exercise regimen have you both done since the beginning? So she has lost over 50 pounds so far, and both of our exercise, well, it's sort of changed now. I do way more exercise than her, but at the beginning, it was Zwift racing. We would do a 30 to 60 minute Zwift race, which is like a computer game where you ride bicycles against people around the world. And we would just hang on for dear life. Cause like, it's like real life where like there's a front group and you're just trying to catch them and you're trying to stay in their draft the whole time. So basically we would just do a Zwift race, hang on for 30 to 60 minutes or however long it was every other day. And then in between those days, we'd have a rest day. And that's how we raised our VO2 max, and that helps with losing weight, creating insulin sensitivity, etc. And that was our exercise regimen. For my wife, that's still her exercise. That's all she does. She doesn't ride outside. She doesn't do long rides like I do. And that was my exercise regimen up until I got to like maybe like 150 pounds or so. And then I started implementing more like long, steady state, like zone 2 rides, like, 2 hours at talking pace. But at the beginning, it was just like quick, short rides every other day. Hot off the press, guys. Get your officially licensed Cole Robinson Snake Diet t-shirts now. Hey fatty on the front, Anthony, plants are trying to kill ya, Chafee on the back.
Plants are trying to kill ya!
Let the world know that you're not part of the fat acceptance movement and you take a stand against dad bods around the world. Get yours now at skeletondiet.com. While you're there, consider picking up a Live from Skeleton City shirt or hat as well. Thanks for the support and back to the show. My favorite part of your channel is you reading the negative comments and just laughing them off. Subscribed. Thank you for subscribing, and yeah, drama sells. I agree too, it's fun. It's fun to respond to the haters. I appreciate how you don't BS people and get straight to the point. Time is valuable and I try and respect your guys' time. You look amazing, great physique. As far as I'm concerned, you can make videos 2 hours long. I'm learning so much. Appreciate it, and thank you for all the support you've shown since the channel started. Do you season your rice with anything? When I'm eating rice, usually just soy sauce, or I'll use like furikake too, if you guys know what that is. It's like a seaweed sort of deal. You can get it at like a Japanese market. But yeah, soy sauce, and honestly ketchup. I put ketchup on everything. Ketchup, sweet chili sauce, barbecue sauce, honestly really any sauce. But soy sauce is always the go-to, but that probably stems from my Asian heritage. If the weight loss is similar to other methods, what's the point of sugar fasting? Kind of like what I was saying about Christian Bale. Do you want to go on a can of tuna and an apple a day? Like, what do you think you'll feel better on? You can lose weight, honestly, eating anything. I mean, the Cheeto diet, if you just eat Cheetos, you'll lose weight. But will you feel good on the Cheeto diet like you feel on this diet? Ultimately, in the end, like whatever diet works for you, that you can have good energy and have the scale drop, then that's the diet you should be on. For me, I found that this diet works perfectly to do that. It works perfectly with trifecta. I'm still able to maintain a high VO2 max. I don't need to take drugs, caffeine, etc. That's sort of the difference between this and other diets. Brother, can you drink fat-free milk on this diet? Skim milk is fat-free, but it has the same amount of protein as whole milk, so I would skip that until you hit Skeleton City. Or if you are going to use skim milk, add some water and dilute it. That'll stretch it and make it go a lot further. A person asked if his frequent urination is a result of the diet. When you do not know an answer, say so, as it is 100% a result of the diet. Diabetes translates to sweet honey urine. Okay, so we're just gonna chalk it up to diabetes 100% right out the gate. It's definitely not because you're eating way more water volume food. When you're eating an entire watermelon, you think you're not going to have more urination? Like, that's normal. That's just going to happen. Most people come from eating a very salty and a very dry diet. And now, especially, I'm promoting drink a liter of water, stay hydrated, and eat all these very, very hydrating fruits. Like, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out, like, drinking more water, eating more water volume rich foods, you're gonna pee more. Sugar diet is the future. Mark my words, sugar diet will be bigger than keto. For all those complaining about sugar crashes and are eating enough, you're likely insulin resistant. Keep fat as low as possible to get the insulin receptors working properly again. Add in more starches for now as they're slower releasing and should help. Although this may slow weight loss, preserving the health of your body is important. That's a great comment, and that's exactly what me and my wife did. When we first started our weight loss journey, it was in tier 3. So we were still having starches, little bit of fat, a little bit of protein, and that got us acclimated until we could upgrade to the next tier and then ultimately upgrade to tier 1. So going straight, especially if you're coming from a keto diet or, crazy fasting or whatever, you could very well be insulin resistant. So you don't really want to just jump in cold turkey. I mean, you can, a lot of people do, but if you're experiencing a lot of negative symptoms, start in tier 3 and work your way up slower. I need a sample day of this. A sample day for me would be sugar for breakfast, sugar for lunch, and then sugar and vegetables for dinner. Can you tell me what kind of compression boots you have? I would love those. Maybe you could send a link or tell me the name of what they are. I actually have 2 different sets. One is called Normatec boots, and then the other one is made by the Theragun people, Therabody, and I think they're called Recovery Air. But I'll show a picture of them. I only have like 10 pounds to go to get to 7 to 8% body fat. Once I hit that, you think I can incorporate more meats and starches and remain the same weight as metabolism is higher? 100% you can, and I actually did this. It was like around 140 or 145 pounds, I went into maintenance mode and I stayed there for like a month or so. Maybe it might have even been 2 months, and I was just maintaining. So yeah, that's basically what tier 3 was created for, the maintenance zone. So yeah, once you hit Skeleton City, go to tier 3 and then you'll stay there indefinitely. Boss, do the dates help you sleep through the night with fewer bathroom breaks since they are so dry and calorie dense? Or are you still using the bucket, lol? I'm still using the bucket and I'll always use the bucket. But yeah, dates are a little drier. I've actually stopped doing the dates before bed. What I do now is maple syrup and jam before bed. And I've been getting a better result than with the dates. So I've actually sort of put the dates on hold for a minute. But yeah, mess around with it and see if that helps you, pee less in the middle of the night. But in the end, I welcome the middle of the night urination. Like, if I'm not peeing in the middle of the night, I feel it. I know that I'm dehydrated. So basically, I would never not want to pee in the middle of the night. I mean, yeah, it's a little annoying, but like, again, I got the bottle. I just pee in the bottle and then roll back over. It's not a big deal at all to me. But that's just me. If you do need to eat cereals, then consider replacing the milk with apple juice. Delicious. Yeah, for sure. I mean, initially when I read that comment, like I had probably the same like mentality of people when I tell them I put ketchup on my salad, like, ugh, that's weird. But I have not tried the apple juice on the cereal, but I would bet that tastes really good. And oftentimes when I have cereal, I literally just use water and sugar. So that may as well be like apple juice. So yeah, I mean, for all the cereal people that don't want to have extra fat or protein, give that a shot, apple juice. You're hilarious. Thank you, I try. I heard the disclaimer, but is libido better or what? Never once since 195 pounds all the way down to I'm 129 now. I have not experienced any lack or loss of libido whatsoever. Why are you trying to get to the lowest weight healthfully? It almost seems like an obsession at this point. Leanest isn't healthiest. Your brain needs fat. Your bones need fat for cushioning. Fat isn't bad. Excessive fat and low muscle is bad. You're extremist, and that's not positive or healthy. Same as an or someone on my 600-pound life. I will agree with you that I am a little extreme, and that's kind of how I've always been in life. Like, if I play a video game, I want to 100% the video game. Like, I want to beat every aspect of that video game. Or when I was a kid with skateboarding, like, I wanted to learn every single trick. Like, I wanted to perfect the trick, and I would do the same tricks like hundreds or thousands of times until it was exactly the way I envisioned it. So I can't disagree with you that I am a little extreme. However, answer, why do I want to see the lowest weight I can get healthfully? It is very helpful to be light when you're on the bicycle or when you're running. That is very helpful. So that's like my main reason on why I'm doing it. And also, I'm just sort of treating it like a science experiment. Like, don't you guys all want to see like the lowest level of Skeleton City? I've had tons of people say they're interested in seeing that happen while being healthy. And no, I'm not going to be any more healthy at dungeon level Skeleton City than I am 10 pounds up from this, or even potentially 20 pounds up. I don't know. But like, no, I'm not going to be any more healthy. I'm not doing it to be healthy. I'm just seeing what the limits actually are. When Buddha was at his skinniest, he felt his spine when pressing his hand on his stomach. And this is what that last question, they're acting like I'm acting like Buddha. Like, I'm not trying to feel my spine through my stomach. Like, that doesn't sound very healthy. I think Buddha exceeded Skeleton City, and he might have been entering like A-word city or like Death's Door city. That's not what I'm trying to do. Trust me, guys, I will have stopped long before I feel my spine through my stomach. So I understand about the fruit and sugar, but what veggies are okay to use? Are there any that are not recommended? Yes, outside of starch, thanks. So check out skeletondiet.com. I have a list of all the tier 1 vegetables, and we took out any of the starchy ones like corn and peas, things like that. Yeah, check out that list, and that'll show all the veggies you can have in tier 1. I've been getting terrible diarrhea and gas on this 3 to 4 days in. Anyone else? Eating mainly wet fruit and juice. Yes, that's very normal. When I started this, I was also getting a lot of diarrhea. I was flushing a lot of stuff out. Now I never ever get diarrhea anymore. But at the beginning, you're sending a lot of like toxins and you're detoxifying a lot of stuff out of your body. And it's going to come out through your sweat, urine, and fecal matter. So that's very normal. Ketchup and barbecue sauce is awesome on veggies and greens. Trader Joe's has a great fat-free barbecue sauce. Good tip, if you have a Trader Joe's around you, go check out the fat-free barbecue sauce. People keep judging his appearance, but look at his energy. Unwell vegans are not of sound body, energy, or mind. He has tons of energy. This isn't about ideology, it's about health. 100%, and I hate to keep bringing up Mango because he's not here to defend himself, but I mean, look at the guy. Did he look well? Like, everybody wants like all these numbers and all this science and what's your blood work? What's this? What's that? It's like, what about 500 years ago when there was no blood work? Like, how did we determine whether someone was healthy or not? You just looked at them. If they had like a pale green complexion, or, you know, like they had sagging eyes, or like, you know what I mean? Like, you'd look at somebody and be like, I mean, like in the same way, if you look at like a homeless crackhead or something, you can just see they look unwell. You know, like I don't look unwell. I look very vibrant. I have lots of energy. You can see it on my videos. So it's like anybody saying I look unwell. And if they're talking about my thumbnails, I mean, even that, like, do I really look unwell? Like, what's so unwell? Just because I'm skinny? Like, I guess my point I'm trying to make, there's a huge difference in being skinny and being unwell. So you didn't eat protein for 9 months doing this fast/diet. At the beginning, small amounts of protein, but as we upgraded tiers, it basically became no protein. How is your sleep on sugar fasting? As long as I eat enough before bed, my sleep is 10 out of 10, but I always mention I have some Snapples on the side of my bed just in case I need to drink something in the middle of the night if I wake up hungry. But since I've been doing the maple syrup and the jam before bed, I haven't had a Snapple night in a while now. Here's a great salad dressing from High Carb Regenerator. Can of peaches and syrup blended with a bit of mustard. Add lemon. That sounds pretty good. I might have to try that. What is VO2 max? Basically, VO2 max is your heart health. It's the maximum amount of oxygen you can take in during exercise. And to increase your VO2 max, basically get your heart rate going. For some people, that might just be walking around the block. For me, because my VO2 max is a lot higher, it's going on a 50-mile fast bike ride. But to start, just get out there and get your heart rate going. When you ride, do you eat only when you get hungry or to spike your energy when getting exhausted? Noakes says endurance athletes perform better burning fat and adding sugar only when needed. For example, today I took a bottle of sugar water and I just sip on it before I get hungry. Basically, like every 20 minutes or so, I'll take a sip of sugar water and then I'll just drink a swig of regular water and swish it around my teeth to get the sugar off. How long did it take you to get from the first picture to the second one? 9 months. Good stuff. Can you have fruits as smoothies? McDougal kept saying weight loss from starch. You didn't find that on your journey? I did lose weight on starch. However, I would be lying if I said I ate unlimited amounts of starch. When I would eat in tier 3 and tier 2, it'd be a little bit of starch, little bit of protein, little bit of starch. Like, I still kept it very light, and it was primarily fruit, juice, sugar, vegetables, and then the starch was just a little bit. But yeah, it's really person to person. If some people do well and they eat huge portions of rice or potatoes or whatever, then, you know, stick with that. You're crazy good at running a YouTube channel to say you're a new channel. Thank you, I appreciate it. And it's not just me running it. The Skelly wife, she's behind the scenes. She does so much for the channel, so it's a combined effort for sure. What's the Skeleton City shirt's size? I'm currently wearing a large, but that's just because I like to be comfortable and have like a baggy shirt, but I could easily fit in a small. In my cycling jersey, I'm an extra small. All right, guys, thank you. I'm cutting it here. Appreciate everybody that leaves a question. If you guys have a question you want answered, leave it in the comments. I do my best to write back to everybody. And until next time, Skeleton Crew, stay bony.